Hello and welcome, my dear friend. It's not random that this message found you now. There are moments God schedules without putting them on a calendar, and your spirit recognizes them before your mind can explain them. Chosen ones, this is one of those moments, and it matters more than you know, because something in you is tired of living in rewind, and you already know what I mean. It's that quiet pressure that shows up when the house is finally calm, when the lights are off, when your phone screen goes dim, and suddenly your mind starts walking back through old doors, like it still has a key. What if I stayed? What if I left sooner? What if I said it differently? What if I took the chance? What if I waited? And it can feel so real, it's like your body believes it's happening again. But hear me clearly. Tomorrow ends a cycle you've carried for years. This is not about you being wrong at all. This is about you being ready to stop punishing yourself for being a real person in a real season with real limits. Because the truth is, you were right. You were right about what you felt. You were right about what didn't sit well in your spirit. You were right to choose the best you could with the information you had at the time. Some of you have been holding your past decisions up to today's clarity and then wondering why it hurts. That's like judging an old photo with a camera you didn't own yet. Of course it looks different now. You upgraded. You grew. You learned. And the only reason you can see more today is because you survived what you lived through back then. God saw that season. God saw what you knew and what you didn't know. God saw what you were carrying. God saw what you were trying to protect. God saw what you were trying to keep from breaking. And He never asked you to be flawless. He asked you to keep walking. The what-if loop is heavy because it keeps trying to hire your mind for a job it was never meant to do. It's your mind trying to redo a moment that already did its work. It's like reopening an old wound just to ask it to prove it hurt. And that's why you can love God, trust God, pray every day, and still feel stuck inside regret sometimes. Because you're faithful, and yet your mind keeps demanding a level of perfection that God never required from you. Tomorrow ends that cycle, not because tomorrow is magic, because tonight you can make a decision in prayer that sets you free. Tonight you can speak to God like this. God, you were with me in that moment. You know I did my best with what I had. Help me stop rewriting the past, hear you clearly now, and trust the choices I make with you. That prayer works because it aligns you with truth. And truth is this: you don't have to keep suffering to prove you cared. Some people think if they let go of regret, it means they're pretending it didn't matter. No, letting go means you're finally trusting that God can redeem what mattered. Letting go means you're finally allowing yourself to be guided forward instead of pulled back. Because regret does something sneaky. It turns everything into second guessing. It makes you reread old messages, like there's a hidden clue that could save you. It makes you replay conversations while you're doing the simplest things, washing your hands, tying your shoes, making tea. It makes you look at your life now and still feel like you have to earn the right to move on, but you don't. And here's the part that heals people. If you could go back 1,000 times, with the same heart you had then, the same maturity you had then, the same resources you had then, the same pressure you were under then, you would make the same choice again. Because you were doing your best with the light you had. And that is not something to be shameful about. That is life. And God is not asking you to despise your past self. He is asking you to honor how hard they tried, and then stop dragging them like a chain. This is where trusting God connects to trusting yourself. Because God didn't only guide you around your decisions. He was shaping you through them. He was building discernment in you. He was building strength in you. He was building a deeper ability to hear Him in you. So when you say, "God, I trust you," but you can't trust yourself, it creates a split inside you. You feel like God is good, but you are unreliable. And that is not what God is teaching you. Chosen ones, the God who leads you, is not leading you into self-doubt. He's leading you into soundness. He's teaching you that your judgment is getting cleaner. Your instincts are getting sharper. Your inner yes is getting calmer. Your inner no is getting stronger. That's why tomorrow matters. Tomorrow is where you stop living like your past choices are still on trial. Tomorrow is where you stop asking, "What if I ruined it?" and start saying, "God carried me through it." Tomorrow is where you stop bargaining with old versions of yourself and start walking with the person you are now. So here's what you can do tonight. Simple, quiet, and powerful. Before sleep, give God one sentence that ends the replay. God, I release the version of me that keeps trying to redo what already taught me what I needed to learn. Then add this, and I bless the version of me who did their best. Because that version of you deserves peace, and you deserve to move forward without a ghost hand pulling at your shoulder. If you know someone who's been stuck inside that mental rewind, share this with them so they can breathe again. Now here's where this becomes lighter. Because freedom from the what-if loop isn't just a thought you agree with. It becomes a new way you carry your mind. Regret doesn't always show up as tears. Sometimes it shows up as hesitation, as double-checking yourself, as asking people what you should do, because somewhere along the line you stop trusting your own discernment. And my dear friend, you can trust God and still feel trapped in replay. That doesn't mean your faith is weak. It means your mind has been trying to protect you by rerunning old scenes, hoping the ending changes. But tomorrow is different, because tonight you can hand God the part that has been trying to re-edit your life. Here's a picture to hold. Regret is like keeping an old receipt in your pocket and pulling it out every day to reread it, hoping the numbers change. The receipt never changes, but your life does. Every time you reopen it, you don't heal the past. You interrupt the present. So what do you do when the replay begins? Not a speech, not an argument, a simple return. God, I learned what I needed to learn. I'm not going back in there again. Then give your attention a present task that matches peace. Something small that tells your body, we are safe right now. One slow breath with your hand on your chest. Maybe it's putting the phone down, drinking water, stepping outside for a minute. Small actions, but they retrain you to live forward. And if your mind says, but what if that decision changed everything? Remember, decisions always change something. God has never been shocked by your process. He is the Redeemer. He weaves meaning even through moments you didn't understand while you were living them. So, you're allowed to believe this now. You made the best decision you could make at the time. Even if you don't love the outcome, God still used it. God still covered you in it. God still shaped you through it. That is why you were right doesn't mean you never struggled. It means your spirit kept telling the truth inside the storm. The part of you that wanted peace was not lying. The part of you that chose survival was not weak. Chosen ones, tomorrow you don't treat old thoughts like a courtroom. You don't put your past on trial again. When the replay knocks, you can say, that season is complete. And then you move your focus to what God is doing now. Because the what-if loop has one hidden cost. It keeps your imagination working for your pain instead of your future. But God gave you imagination for vision. God gave you today for movement, so tomorrow can look like this. In the morning, pray like someone who is done negotiating with yesterday. God, you were with me in that moment. You know I did my best with what I had. Help me stop rewriting the past, hear you clearly now, and trust the choices I make with you. In the middle of the day, do one check-in. Hand on your chest and ask, am I moving from peace or am I moving from fear? If it's fear, don't punish yourself. Adjust. One clean step, a simpler response. At night, instead of replaying every moment, bless the day and release it. God, thank you for what you covered today. Thank you for what you taught me. I release what I can't control. Guard my mind while I sleep. And then sleep like someone who believes God is still working, even when you aren't. One day, sooner than you think, you will look back and realize the cycle didn't end because you finally found the perfect answer. It ended because you chose peace over punishing yourself. It ended because you trusted that God can guide you, and God can guide the version of you that is still becoming. So tomorrow, when you wake up, don't treat your mind like a problem to solve. Treat it like a place God is cleaning. Let tomorrow be the day you stop asking, what if I did it differently? And start saying, God, show me what's next. Because you were right, my dear friend. And now you're ready to move forward without looking over your shoulder. Thank you so much for taking this journey with me. If this message resonated, please like, share it with someone who might benefit, and subscribe to stay connected. Continue your awakening journey by choosing one of the videos on your screen that resonates with you the most. See you there.